Hey, people. This is Corey Kerr. Welcome to Illitalk. I am trying to learn how to paint. I've got this little guy that is from kind of this illustration. And I'm trying to kind of work this out. So I've got the inks here. I can kind of change the colors of that. And I'm going to rough that up a little bit to make it look a little bit more textured. But I'm going to try a few different things. So one is I'm going to come in and um, I'm going to do some shadows. And so I can come in and kind of paint those shadows. That's just a multiply layer, so I can change that to whatever I want. Um, and then I'll probably do come in and do some radial gradients, where I come in and kind of warm things up or cool things off. Something like this with low opacity. So if I put it like on a 10, I can come in and just kind of like hit some of that stuff, switch colors, hit some of that with, a different color. And then I'm going to kind of texturize some stuff to see if I can make it look like a little bit more like paint. I'm not sure if I'm going to leave the ink or not. We'll see where we get to tonight. So, yeah, so that's where I'm at. Anybody who's been following me will know, I have built a sauna in my backyard. And I tell you what, it feels incredible. I am breathing better. I'm in a lot less pain. But one downside that I'm having is like after I do it, I'm like super tired. So normally I like stay up, quite a long time. And I can get a lot done at night when everybody else is in bed. But that is not the case lately, as I am a little bit more tired than I normally am. So I don't know. I might try to start doing stuff in the mornings or something. We'll kind of see where all that ends up. But normally I could go, if I don't have to get up the next morning, I can go till 2 to 4 a.m. And that's not the case right now. So yeah, but again, breathing better, a lot less pain. So it is definitely worth it. All right, what are we using? You're using the Mongol brush from Lane's big Photoshop pack. And so I'm going to come in and I am going to try to rough in really quickly, kind of some big shadow areas, going to leave in some brush strokes because I'm trying to make this look painted and not like comic book ink style like I normally do. So I'm gonna see if I can knock back that value contrast between the inks and other things. So yeah, so let's see what we got going on here. Just gonna kind of come along these outer edges and give myself some kind of brush strokes that will knock the value of that down a little bit. I'm going relatively quickly here. I think I might come back and touch some of this up a little bit later. This is a symmetrical illustration, but I like to color them. I don't like to color them symmetrically. So I could do that little mirror thing where you come in and, you do that and it paints on one side or the other. But I don't want to do that because I like a little bit of the kind of variation, whatnot, that comes from those differences. I'm not sure if I like blue. I wonder if different color crab might be a little bit more interesting. The nice thing about the way that I'm doing this with these solid color adjustment layers is you can really easily change all the colors. Do I want a more red or purple? I'm gonna go a little bit purple because I don't necessarily want to do the classic red or orange. But that blue like wasn't working for me. So let's take this down and warm that up. And we'll change that in a bit. Okay. So let's finish giving our kind of shades here. Let's try. Okay, that's pretty good. And then you can always double click on this and accentuate parts of it. I'm going to come in and make another solid color layer adjustment. And let's hit this with a screen or an overlay. Let's try screen for right now. And that's a little extreme, so let's dial in this color. I kind of like the yellow on the thing, but I want it to be a little bit washed out. Okay, and that's not the right brush, so do you want that one just smaller, or? The problem with that one is it's got a little bit of a, that's a smudge. Should I get out my rusty dagger? I want to do the rusty dagger for the, you know what, for right now, let's go up to Kyle Webster's brushes, and I'm just gonna ink this like I normally do. So I'm gonna get the ink triangle that he's got. I'm just painting on this mask, and I'm just gonna come in. It's still too big. I want some variation in that line. I'm just gonna come in and do little highlights along these edges. And as I do this, I'm definitely going to knock this back. So I don't want it to be well, you know what? Maybe we'll go like this and then just drop the opacity. There we go. All right. Okay, so that's good. Kind of come in and hit a lot of these ridges. I may even erase some of the texture that's in the shadows because I think it went a little crazy there. But this is something that maybe I should. I am going to do this one as a no, because the light. We'll say the light source is coming from. The light source is coming from the upper right. So everything that faces upper right. So even though this is symmetrical, the light is going to react differently. Okay, so let's come in and color each one of these little bits. And I'll figure out what I want to do with that a little bit later. But right now, anything on the upper or left side of any of these sections should be catching a little bit of light. Cool. All right. So let's come along the edge here. One of the things I'm finding is that if you have kind of hard edge specular highlights, it helps suggest the idea of a shinier and harder surface. So if you have more diffused edge quality to your shadow and your highlights, that suggests a little bit more of a matte or rough surface. And so since these guys are a little shiny, I'm kind of keeping my edges harder. But I'm going to keep the value contrast low, or medium, because they're not like stainless steel shiny. Okay, and let's not kid ourselves here. That pink is terrible. Maybe I do want the blue. Ooh, I kind of like the... Yeah, let's dial that in a little bit. I like that. That's kind of cool. Okay. Okay, and let's play with the opacity of our... We can come up a little bit. All right. And I don't mind that so much. Okay, so I'm going to add a... I'm going to add a little bit of a texture to the... Did I save that in my faves? I didn't. Okay. So let's come into our special effects brushes and give me particle spray and splatter. Natural noise. That's good. So I'm gonna do, you know what? I'm gonna make that also be solid color layer adjustment. And let's go pure white right now. And here. And invert. And then I'll paint on that mask just to kind of knock this back. So if that's kind of chunky, I might see if I shrink that down a little bit. That's a little bit, that's kind of foggy. Let's see if we can get a better one. No. What is dust and scratches like? Just random. Big particles? No. Coarse spatter. Spatter spray, dust particles, stardust, sparse speck, spatter spritz. Try some spritz. Yeah, spritz might give us something interesting. Okay, spritz is an option. Everybody remember spritz. Surface wash and texture is probably more what we're looking for. A gentle texture. Command A, delete. Yeah, there we go. Okay, gentle texture is good. Paper texture, not as thick haze. Nope. Canvas impression. Ooh. Canvas impression 2. Okay. I think we've got a winner. I'm gonna have to knock it back a little bit, but yeah, let's do that. Okay, so canvas impression 2. Do we have a 3? We just have 2. All right. So I'm just gonna come down here really lightly and knock this back. Cool. And that is a beautiful thing. Great. Okay. I'm actually going to apply this to everything in here. And let's give it a little bit of color. Let's warm it up just a touch. and apply it. Alt click. And let's drop the opacity down. I just want a hint of it there. Maybe a little bit more. Or drop it down and push a little harder. Cool. That's a nice way to distress things. I kind of like that. Okay. Good. All right. Let's paint in. Oh, I guess a comment. Who's commenting? Hey, it's Jim Luhan. You are up drawing too. You should jump on the stream, man. I'll send you a link if you're interested. Oh man, I don't know how much later I can handle this though, because that sauna is relaxing. Okay, let's look. So I'm gonna come in and paint some. What do we got? Oh, I did have a little bit of that already, huh? We can double those up. Let's turn that on and apply it. Okay. All right, so now let's do ourselves a favor, and I'm going to paint in. It did save this brush, so let's go to faves and let's paint in some big wash. Yeah, okay. So what color do I want to have? Let's go. Let's do this. Let's go here and let's mix some color. So give me color wheel and let's jump here-ish, but let's desaturate it. Let's see where we are at that. Yeah. All right, so I'm just gonna kind of give ourselves a little bit of a something like that, and then let's go brighter and darker as we kind of leave this edge. I'll zoom out just a touch. So kind of just vignette this guy. And redder and more saturated still. We're kind of making him Greek godlike here with this background. I might change this. Who knows at this point? So let's brighten up the middle just a touch. Give ourselves all right, now Command U. Do I want to keep this color? I don't know. It gets a little bit lost in the green. If I desaturate and brighten it up, that's not bad. Cool. All right, so let's go back. Begun and cool. Okay, so I'm going to come in. I am going to remind myself of this other one that I did that was semi-successful. This guy I think I might, on some of this, just kind of paint over the top some textures here. I liked a lot of that. I might do some similar hue stuff, but before I do that, I am going to come in. These edges are too. What would you say? They're like too crisp for like the paint style I'm going for. So I'm going to come in with this color, and let's mix just an ever so slightly darker version of that color. Do I want to go lighter? I might go lighter. Let's do our color mixer. So we'll come in with this color, and we'll mix it with this color. And let's give ourselves just a little bit of a. Ooh, man. I don't know if I'm getting a really solid. Maybe that. How's that look? That's a little bit better. Let's cheat it over though. Let's come over here and we'll cheat the saturation just a little bit. That's all right. Yeah, okay. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I am going to go over maybe this containment line, the outside of the silhouette there, and just give myself some. Now I don't know if that's. I don't know if this is really dark enough. Do I want to blend this? That is no good. That is terrible, and that is no good. Do I want to make it slightly? I don't know. Should I just go dark? Should I just do the full on? How does this look? Hate that. Okay, I think what I want to do is I'm going to mix this color to match the one that's a little bit closer. And maybe I'm screwing myself over with this a little bit. All right, so I'm going to take this down quite a bit. Let's just go real light texture there. Okay, and back to our outline experiment. I'm roughing in the kind of outlines. I don't know. This isn't the best brush because I'm using the color mixer. Okay, so if I don't get in my own way, this could be okay. So there we go. All right, that's better. And I kind of want to overlap. Yeah, let's try it. Let's see. Still very dark. That's okay. We'll burn that bridge when we come to it. Okay. I still want to figure out what I want to do with. I don't know what you would call those, but in my mind, this little like softer tendon muscle thing in between the elbows and armpits. It seems like those are warmer in my head. So let's get I'm going for quick, not ink level of detail since I already have that, but I do want, I want to kind of break up the edge and give myself a really gestural line quality. But I do have to kind of back off a little bit of that so that we get some of this edges. I do want still the teeth of that. Okay. This brush doesn't have much of a taper, but get rid of these cross hatches, I think, and I'm just going to come in and give myself some little bit of looser, almost dry brush mark making. Okay, so I'm still going to leave that kind of under painting there, but I kind of want to break loose of it and let us zoom out a touch. Yeah, that's fine. And then I'll give myself a bit of a transition from that so it's not so stark. And I'm gonna come in and undo some of the inks that are kind of underneath here, but for right now, this is better than AI, right? As far as, I just think everybody's really excited about generating an image and not quite realizing that the ability to spit out massive quantities of something devalues that thing. And I'm not even talking financially, like, I mean, that's a big problem, but just like the creative experience of creation, like of making things. If you don't have a process that takes some time and takes some value and some commitment, you are shortchanging yourself the experience and the benefit, the mental, physical, there's no physical benefit, but spiritual and emotional benefit that comes with bringing things into the world. There's some real value in that. I'm fairly certain there are a few things that I would be cool with using AI for, like flatting inked work, preparing it for colors and things. But for the most part, I'll change occupations and go make money a different way if it becomes the only way to do that, because I am not willing to give up the benefits that I get from hand creating things. Not really interested in that as such. All right, so this is all going to be just scrubbed in, but get that edge, and then this edge scrub in the middle. So, Jim, kind of curious what you think here. Should I pull like a Joshua Kimball and do like a topic, or kind of continuing to just describe why I am making the decisions that I'm making. What say you, chat? You guys want to discuss some things, or should we just focus on process? I like process quite a bit. I also find it a little bit difficult to articulate something different than what is actually going on with my hands. Jim likes hearing about my life, so I'm going to talk about my life. Work is crazy right now, so I teach in two different emphases. One is digital social media, where we teach strategic content creation. And then the other is visual communication, where I teach a little bit of motion graphics, animation, illustration, graphic design, some of that stuff, with the application in the business world. So that's where the message and audience comes in. Anyway, one of our faculty members was recently made the department chair, and the rest of us are having to kind of pick up his class load, and kind of shifted some things around. So this semester I'm in like week 2 of the semester, and it feels like it's week 7. I am very tired, and honestly a little behind the 8 ball. So anyway, so that's kind of like life in general, and but specifically, physically, I'm feeling good. I may have pneumonia. That is yet to be seen. I probably don't, but I am also probably headed in that direction. That old lung injury, when I punctured it, seems to be the gift that just keeps on giving. But one of the reasons I built the sauna was for that. And tell you what, that has been enjoyable. We have done it 3 or 4 times a week, basically every other night, pretty consistently. We have friends over or do it as a family, and it's fun. I am burning through, literally, not hypothetically or symbolically, but burning through a lot of wood. I had a cord of wood delivered, and yeah, all of that because I could have gotten one of the electrical ones, but it works off of 220, and I didn't want to pay an electrician to run 220 out there. But the fire's been fun. It's been fun lighting a fire and getting the technique for that particular wood burning stove kind of down well, so that it burns hot but slow, so I'm not burning through a ton of fuel. So that's been fun. Anyway, breathing well, sleeping well. Highly recommend it. We also have been shoveling snow into a horse trough with some water in it, and doing some cold plunges in between sessions of heat, which honestly sounds like something I would absolutely hate, and that I would never, ever, ever in a million years be something that I'd want to do. But there's something about the combination of the heat and then the relief of the cold that is super helpful. So I mean, at this stage, at my age and activity level, I pretty much have constant aches and pains along my drawing arm and back and neck. And my buddy had a sauna. He lived in Finland for a while. He teaches math. He's got several master's degrees and a PhD in different types of math. Anyway, and he would invite us over, and I would feel good every time I had sauna. Like I would be kind of pain free for like a few days each time, and I was like, man, it's crazy. So we pulled the trigger on one of our own, and it is great. My arms don't hurt as much, and I don't have that kind of constant achy pain that I've had for a few years now. So anyway, so Jim says, my buddy had a sauna, great Blink 182 song. Name 2 things that gives you hope for the next generation. This is something I'm trying to get better at, is looking hopeful at things. And I am not naturally inclined to be able to articulate why I'm hopeful outside of a faith-based situation. So I will say, I do think, based on a couple of the classes that I'm teaching, that the current generation of college students is very uninterested in being addicted to screens and social media. It doesn't mean that they are naturally good at not doing those things, but there's a desire there that I haven't clocked until recently. That to me is a little bit hopeful. I think the attorneys general of the U.S. suing Meta for willfully and knowledgeably harming an entire generation of youth's mental health, which I think is well documented, is promising. I think there's some hope there to return to an internet that is not exploitative of the people using the internet. So I'm hoping that that has some big sweeping changes. I do believe that as much as people make fun of Facebook as kind of an aging platform that nobody's really on, I do think they have been and continue to be, just by virtue of their monolithic size, trendsetters in a lot of things. And I'm hoping that they get forced to trendset into a more manageable and humane modern communication style. So like this idea of like, we don't have to like not know what's going on, but if we were able to do some things to some of the stuff that is kind of causing this, my biggest hope is, because I think this is the real problem, is that we break up some of these monopolies. I think we should be doing some trust busting. Anyway, the generation specifically, it's difficult because I think we have a mental health crisis where we have people that are being taught to be victims, to think of themselves as victims. We also are legitimately way more stressed out and anxious than we have ever been by almost any metric, in the West at least. But you're seeing a lot of shift. I think younger generations in general, historically, and you can go back thousands of years, rebel against older generations, most of the time for the good of society. Most of the time your younger generation is going to look at what the older generation has assumed is just, that's just always the way it is. And and be like, well, does it have to be like that though? That seems weird, right? There's kind of an argument to be made that that's a little bit newer. There is an article I read that had an interesting hypothesis of that progress isn't natural, I believe was the title of the article. The idea being veneration of the elderly, like elder worship, where you know there's a cultural bias towards how would you say that? A cultural bias towards deferring to the wisdom of the elderly, which I think has a lot of huge benefits. But one of the major downsides to that way of thinking, according to this article, is that it's very difficult to say that this thing is wrong. You know, this thing that we're doing isn't good. Because, you know, in saying that, you have to say that the elders are wrong because they own slaves or don't let women vote or buy property or, you know, whatever, right? There's some hesitation in that. So, but that swings a little bit too far, I think. I think the millennials with the OK Boomer stuff are very dismissive of those that have gone before. And I think Gen Z has the potential to kind of have a really interesting balance of kind of that viewpoint of kind of, being able to call out when things are not working, but also recognize that those that have gone before are not completely and totally worthless. So I don't know. I think a lot of stuff is in flux. And I think when things are in flux, it is easy and very tempting to doomsay. But the nice thing about things being in flux is, it could go either way. There could be a lot of really interesting change that is beneficial to everybody. So I like that. Okay, so we got our darker stuff roughed in. Yeah. Let's, do I want to do this on top or underneath? Let's do it on top. I'm going to go on top here. Let's go back to our mixer tool, and I'm going to give myself, this is my darker color, and let's go with, this is my lighter color, and let's kind of just give ourselves somewhere in between there. But give me some blue as well. Still want it to be pretty dark. How's that? How's that just inside? Yeah, that's okay. And then give me, can I hit this here as my, it's a little bit of a, I want to punch in with a yellow. Let's mix a nice yellow, and then let's wash that out. And give me that blue. Oh, that's way too much. Give me, where's my mixer? Some of this washed out as well. Give me this green washed out. All right. Back to the Mongol, and let's shrink that down. I'm going to, again, come in on this edge, mostly with this, just to give us a bit of that shape. I don't know. We'll see. We shall see. Okay, so I was talking to Kevin Cross the other night. One of the original Artcasters, whom I've never met in person, and we don't know each other super well, other than kind of having followed each other online and whatever. But I said that my expectation was that I would know how to do this after doing it every day for a month, and he said a month isn't that long. And it was kind of funny because that was the first time I thought, oh yeah, I guess, maybe not. But like, I don't know. I feel like if you've got a good foundation on stuff, you might be able to pull off things pretty quickly. So I'm kind of, I think the challenge that I'm having is I'm bouncing around a little bit. As far as I'm not doing the same type of painting each time. So it's not like I'm going to have 30 iterations of this. I'm experimenting as much with materials and technique as I am with just getting the iteration of that out. And so I don't know if it'll be interesting to see. Almost every time I've tried to learn how to paint, I get immediately frustrated with how terrible I am at it, and just give up almost right away, which is not something I want. Also, not really proud of that, but it's interesting that happens, because that I don't do that a lot. That's not like a personality trait that I normally have, where this is hard and I abandon it immediately. And there's been something about, like, I mean, I taught myself illustration and animation and all kinds of different things, photography and videography and lots of that stuff. But there's something about how bad my past attempts have been that is so discouraging. And some of these are pretty terrible that I'm doing now, but I've hit one or two of them already that have been promising enough. Not that they're good, but I can see the path to, like, getting competent through a couple of these, and so that has been somewhat promising. I'm gonna jump in here with a solid color adjustment layer, and I will make it black, and I will change this to hue blending. Maybe down at the bottom, and that'll give me black and white, so I can check value. And so I need more lighter midtone, which I'm going to do over the top here. And I'm wondering at this point if I should, like use one of the smudging tools. I hesitate with the smudging tools because everything starts to get a little bit smeary and wet. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't like it. I'm backing that up. The other thing I'm trying to do is not, obviously not doing a great job right now. The other thing I'm trying to do is not come in and do a lot of Command Z. I think I'm going to come in with some. Ooh, that is bright. That's a little bit better, but I hate that brush. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with this. We're just gonna go scratchy dry brush here. So let's tighten that up and I'm just going to come in with some of these. And this is where I think those artists that went to art school earlier on in their life and got a huge advantage over those of us that kind of self-taught, because I was never really forced to do different mediums and stuff, and so I just gravitated towards the ones that naturally made sense, like ink and whatever else. Anyway, yeah, so I don't know. We'll see. Let's talk life. Malia's in a play. My wife is the lead in a play and is starting a conservatory in town, which will teach kids all the kind of different things about theater. So they're going to have like a tech track, they're going to have a singing track and dancing and acting, and it's going to be pretty cool. She's been itching to kind of get back into the workforce, and this is nice because she can do it because Roz is still pretty young, and so kind of going to a job, you know, would become very difficult with childcare and whatever. Financially, sometimes that doesn't even make any sense. It's almost more expensive to do that sometimes than not have the second income. Anyway, we're kind of excited about that. That should be fun. Health-wise, I'm on my third round of medication, trying to get rid of whatever I've got, this cold or whatever. The first 2 rounds almost took it out, but not quite. And that's kind of what happened when I had the lung abscess and pneumonia. And so I'm a little concerned that that pattern is emerging again. But so far, so good. I think I'm going to go with yellow and see if I can just, yeah. Oh, I like the yellow and the blue, but do I have, can I have a more spread out? I wonder if I can find a more, let's go Painterly brushes. Let's look at heavy texture. What do we got? Nope. Artifact. So what I'm looking for now is something that I can come in and, I mean, this is the downside to digital. That's interesting. Wizard Fire. I'm going to do this on a separate layer. And do it with a slightly smaller brush. And let's come in and, does that look terrible? Yes, it does. Is that the yellow that looks terrible? I kind of wonder if I warm that up. How does that look? Yeah, that's a lot better. Okay, so put this on a separate layer so I can delete that. And let's come in. One of the things, and I've never even done much with painting, so I am going off of random comments that people have made. But my mom was an artist, and I remember one time she was talking about a class that she took, and the class was they had this technique that she was using where you would paint the opposite or complementary color as the underpainting, and then you'd come in over the top with opposite colors. So in this case, like a blue and then an orange on the top. And the interesting thing that she was saying about that, I'm going to come in and do those little I don't know, I'm gonna call them muscles later, but is they would play off of each other a little bit, and it gave it. So those back legs, I'm gonna have less hue contrast. Try to push them backwards a little bit, and the front legs, the ones that are closer, I'm gonna have a lot more. But that kind of conflict, that contrast of warm and cool, kind of gave it an interesting look. And I think I'm doing that now. So I don't mind it too much. Or that's too big. Yeah. Wizard Fire. I'll have to remember that. Let's look at what else we've got. Cauldron Keeper. No. Grove Keeper. No. Swashbuckler. Maybe. These names are weird. Lizard Thicket. Hex Texture. Waffle Scratch. Abominable Brush. Sloppy Mop. Money Model. Machete Model. Now that could be an interesting background element. Whoa, that is big. I like the edge of that though. Impasto Abstract. I wonder if I go much smaller, if it gives me a similar edge quality. Oof, it's hard to beat. Okay, so let's come in, and I'm going to go a little bit more saturated and a little bit warmer. And let's accentuate the middle part of these things. So, sorry. Jim tells me to talk about my life, and I continue to just come back and describe exactly what everyone's seeing on the screen. All right. So, yeah. So anyway, so they put me on an inhaler that didn't seem to do what they thought it should. I'm going to do this on a separate layer too. Luckily, my insurance covered that because that was $1,000 inhaler. So I had to cover 160 of it or something, which is not fun, but is better than 1,000. And that didn't work though. And then I've been on a number of things. I was on an antibiotic that it has the potential to blow out your tendons and give you tendonitis. And it started to do that. So I had a lot more pain in my arm than I normally do. And so they were like, okay, that's a pretty rare reaction, but they've started to get to know me a little bit and know that rare reactions are not uncommon for me. If there's a weird possibility for something to possibly happen, then that's more likely in my case for some reason. Anyway, it's kind of interesting. I still don't feel like I'm getting a good transition from that outside. I wonder if I mix. I wonder if I just came in and if I didn't go outside of this. So let's go. That's not going to work, is it? But what if I just came in and it just makes it look furry? Yeah, let's look for bristle brushes. I wonder if I can get a little bit more transition in that. I'm trying to stay away from trying to stay away from anything that could be like considered like hatching. It's just more of an inking technique, but I want a better transition along the edges of from that dark outside to the brighter inside. I want to kind of knock back the brighter bit a little bit. I like this brush. So anyway, yeah, my main goal right now is to not end up in the hospital again. And so far, so good. I feel like the sauna is helping quite a bit in that respect. I breathe way better on the days that I sauna than on the days that I don't. Almost to the point where if I had the time to do it every day, I might. It does take a bit of time. Anyway, I don't know. It's been an interesting. It's been an interesting season for respiratory stuff. Everybody's just saying there's just a ton of stuff out there that we all our lungs are dumb, as my brother described it, because we weren't really exposed to anything for a little bit as everybody was kind of masked up and stuff. And so, like, the flu went around the world and had a little bit better time to get a little bit more nasty and colds and everything. Anyway, so yeah, fun stuff. I hate the middle of that. Not a fan of the middle of this. I wonder if I could... I do like this orange, though. Let's zoom out. The background of this is nowhere near what I want. Let's come on the top of the background. And I'm going to give myself some beach plain. That brush isn't doing it at a larger size. None of these are all too small. But, so let's get rid of bristle brushes and let's go now. Natural flat, gouache, it's fine. Dry, Phoenix tail, what would that be? Flat canvas, diluted split stroke, diluted stroke. Flat canvas is, it's not bad. You know what I'm gonna do? I already have this. Up in my faves. So let's go to my favorite brushes so far. And let's grab our knife. Rusty dagger. Ooh, I don't know, man. I might like that other one a little bit better. Would it be interesting to do... Man, I just love ink. Look how much better that looks. Do I even really want to learn painting? Or do I just need more value contrast? Do I just need to go darker? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go darker. That's what I'm going to do. Okay. Let's see. Let's go really tight. I'm going to go back to those bristle brushes and find a thin one. Was it bristle brush? Yeah, it was. No. Harvester, no. Pulled bristle. Splayed, Rapunzel, Enigma. Maybe it wasn't these. Roll back the tape. Where was I before? Wasn't special effects, right? No. I don't know. Let's think. Let's give myself some bristle inks. That's what it was. There's that. There's that. There's that. Give me some thin stuff. Give me the thin stuff. I want thin, but with a heavy, erratic edge. That might be something. The Tangler is interesting. So ink smudges, coarse smudge. I wonder if I came in. Can I do? Let's see. Okay, so can I do this smaller? Maybe not that small, but close. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. Okay, so let's get rid of my little weird marks here. And we're going to use the ferrule bristles at a small size, and I'm going to go very dark. So I'm going to grab this and let's saturate that and bring it down. How does that look? That's pretty dark. Okay, maybe not so much. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so I'm gonna load that there, and then do I want the orange? Do I risk it with the orange? I think I do. Okay, so let's do this. Foreground color, background color. And I'm just going to tighten everything up. I've got kind of my stuff here. And of course I'm doing some random layer. Come back up here. Let's go right over the top. I don't know, man. Do I want it that loose? Okay, I don't feel like going over each line 3 times, so let me give me a. That's better. Okay, so this is where I'm going to try to go fast. Impressionistic, but not furry. Okay, yeah, so I don't know. I feel like I'm just complaining about my health. I'm not sure how interesting that is to anybody, but that's what's going on in my life. So my daughter is 14 years old now and is very much acting like a teenager. Not in a bad way, actually. She's been really fun to be around, but just in like, I don't know, big group of them went out to the movies tonight and stuff. It's kind of weird having a kid that age that, I don't know, they're not like a little kid anymore. So that's something I'm kind of getting used to. They're just, they're out doing stuff and hanging out with people. Just kind of strange. And it has warmed up quite a bit. It was -18 the other day. And so Now we're above freezing and everything's melting. It's kind of fun. It does that every so often, like you kind of get like a little bit of a reprieve. So if you miss, if you don't hit like snow removal, then it starts to build up. And I feel like every once in a while, you get a little bit of a do-over on that, which is nice. Do I like this? Do we? Now it just feels like we're just inking it again. It might be too dark. Can I lower the opacity and then it becomes pointless? Or blend it and then it becomes even darker overlay? I don't like it, guys. I don't like it. Okay. I'm abandoning this and let's come in with some warmth. So I'm gonna come under here and I'm gonna take our thing and let's see, maybe a little bit more than that, but I'm gonna make the middle here darker. Parts of this brighter, a little bit warmer. Let's go up from 10 to 20. There we go. Then let's paint underneath here. That doesn't even show up anymore. Can I painted right over the top of that. That is almost pointless at this juncture. That's still showing up quite a bit. What is this? If no pixels are selected, then why does everything get brighter? Oh, that's that I was just doing. I might come in and delete this a little bit. So give me black and white and brighten up a little bit of this. Push it a bit too far. Okay. All right. What kind of scene? What kind of scene should we be doing for this? Where do we want this guy? Am I crazy? I feel like this isn't changing anything. Do I have something selected? Deselect. Change. There we go. I really hate this background. What do I want to do? Man, this arm is really bugging me. It looks furry, so give me that. And where are you? Where are you? Right there. So let's come in and give me an eraser that is hard-edged charcoal eraser. Nope. media eraser? There we go. That was just bugging me. Okay. Do I want to smear some of this around? I wonder, let's see, smudge tools. Squiggle smudge, what does that do? Oh, that's terrible. Okay. Also not good. Pixel pusher. What? What is that? Let's play with this for a minute. This is interesting. Wow, that's ridiculously strong. If I shrink this down, can I? For a different style, that might be interesting. Okay, I'll have to remember that. Pixel pusher. Oil Bristol smudge. Yeah, so that's going to be your basic. If we come in here like this, if I wanted a smeary, that'll kind of give you that. That's tempting. That is pretty tempting. I think it's different enough than what I'm going for. All right, let's paint in. No, brush pen. Sure. Let's paint in our orange and our lighter orange. How's that look? Ugly as sin. I still want there to be something there, but I probably have to do it underneath. Or I could just warm it up. Let's warm it up the old-fashioned way with a little gradient. No. Maybe. No. Too fuzzy and diluted. Yeah. I don't know, when I turn the inks on, I just really like it. Should I just leave the inks on? I don't know. Okay, so here's a thing that we could do. What if I come in and rough up dirty ink set? What if I come in and rough up the inks a little bit so that they are a little bit less crazy? So black. That is doing nothing. Okay. There we go. That's doing too much. All right. Spritz. Nope. Sparspickle. Nothing. Okay. Give me. That's kind of interesting. This just kind of knocks it back a little bit, right? So let's just scribble in a little bit. A little too much there. Let's bring some of that back. That's okay. Let's try. Now we'll just kind of get rid of large areas of. That's too much. Bring that back. Okay, blotch splatter's not the one I'm looking for. What about, no, versatile inks. Thera. Doesn't seem very versatile. Stargazer. Okay, yeah, that's at least a little nuanced. I'm trying to go in and get rid of anything where there's like just really heavy line work. Or really distinct hatching or detail stuff. I don't know, this is what makes me think I'm probably never going to figure out painting because I really like the look of the inks. I do really like them. That's fine. Okay, so now do I want to bother with the background or just call this experiment experimented on? I think I'm going to call it. We're at close to an hour and a half anyway, so yeah. I feel like those inks kind of knocked back some of my cool orange highlights though. if I put them underneath some of that stuff? That is a little bit better. Oh, I kind of like it almost under everything. All right, so let's go back up and let's grab faves and let's grab Mongol and let's come down here. I don't even know what this is. Where's that? I don't know. Nothing? There you go. Oh no. I don't know what brush I used that I really liked. I think I called it out. I'll have to go back and look at the thing, but was it one of these? It wasn't a smudge tool. It wasn't the erasers, so it had to have been. I don't even think it was Versatile Inks. I think it was probably Bristol Inks. Was it Ferrule? Might have been Ferrule. I think it was Ferrule. Yeah. So I'm gonna let's see if we can dress this up a little bit. I'm just gonna give myself some kind of purple behind, or this orange behind the purple. Blue's interesting. You know what? I just got a book. I just got a. Here's a. Anyway, anime backgrounds book. I wonder if I just rough in some Cityscape. I'll do that later. Yeah, I'm gonna call it. All right. For those of you that watched, thanks for watching. You can find my stuff at CoreyKerr.com. Let's take a closer look at how this kind of turned out. I think the purple might be a little bit out of control. So maybe I might put the purple underneath stuff. That kind of darker. So you name your layers, which I didn't do. If I go under the ink. It's a little bit better. I don't know. There's some fun energy to that. That turned out okay. Not my best, not my worst. Terrible background. I don't even know what I want to do about that though. Should we just add a solid color? Let's add some color in here. That's a little better. And then let's come in with some surface effect and give me there was one that was like a canvas that I liked. Canvas. Impasto canvas. I need like a white to even tell what's going on. Okay, Impasto canvas could be cool. Canvas cruiser now. Canvas crush now. No, I don't need mixer brushes. Stop it. Ooh, maybe. Yeah, that's nice. Okay, so this is a little cheat that I do sometimes. Where are these colors? Oh, they're on a layer. Great. All right, let's please switch to my polygonal lasso. And then cut and paste, and then go away. Okay. Oh boy, I was talking about something. There we go. Okay, so let's overlay and drop the opacity of it. Maybe a little bit more. Okay. I was saying something and now I can't remember what I was saying as I'm watching this brush do its thing because of the lag. I kind of want to get in here and just rough this up a bit, but I don't want it to look like I'm just highlighting around the body, so I want to get some kind of like strokes. Man, I don't know what this brush is doing, but it is absolutely killing my computer. It's like pretty decent lag. And we're on an overlay, so I might come in just down here and add in a bit of a shadow. Maybe. We'll see how that goes. That might be a little bit extreme. Spinning wheel of death. Hopefully, this is saved recently in case it crashes. Didn't crash, so that's nice. I hate that. So let's do Impasto canvas. I kind of liked. Yep. Okay, so here we go. Let's zoom out. And let's go ridiculously huge. We can always do this on another layer. Ah, there we go. I don't know, man. I kind of like that texture for the subject. I want that in here? It's not going to show up. Okay, so let's give ourselves our vignette. I go very big and yeah, that's all right. Yeah, let's call it. That's fine for now. All right. Go to CoreyKerr.com and whatnot. You can check out the other videos in this playlist to see how bad I screwed the rest of this up, if you want. And I am going to come in here. Give me that one. Let's just come in here just on one more. Just kind of curious. That is kind of a nice texture. Too much there. A little lighter. Just kind of knocks back some of those more vibrant. Oh, really? And one more check on grayscale. Yeah, that's fine. All right, CoreyKerr.com, email, newsletter, whatnot, and we will catch you guys later. See ya. Thanks for watching.